Yeah, I want to go over something specifically for the Sebring Convertible, which is the oil change. Very simple, right? Well, I'm going to tell you a couple of things you've never heard of, or maybe you never heard of. For one thing, not too many cars can use a different filter than the stock filter. Now, why doesn't the manufacturer use a bigger filter? Probably could. Maybe I would just say, I'm going to say this because maybe they want the engine not to last as long as you buy another car. How's that? Okay. Now, on the Sebring, well, I'm going to display it right here. You got several filters you can use besides the other standard stock filter. And this filter, this replacement is twice as big. Now this is for the 2.5 Mitsubishi engine. That's in the Generation 1 Sebring 1996 to 2000. So you got the Purolator L3000, well 3030 zeros, then a 1, so that's 30,001. Motorcraft FL1 or FLL1A. AC Delco PF2 and Wix 51515. Now those are the ones I recommend. Now in other words, also the hole in the bottom of the filter, this hole here, that's a 3/4 inch hole, 16 thread, coarse thread. So that's what fits, and you can see the diameter of the gasket. Now the other thing is when you're using these other filters, sometimes I notice the gasket sticks up there on the oil well where it goes into the pump over there. That you might want to check if you're changing this filter, this type. You might want to check if the gasket isn't stuck up in there. So, but that's all you'd have to do. But something else I do. Now the other filter you can use, I know a lot. I don't really like Fram, but the better quality Frams aren't too bad. The lowest one, Extra Guard, it's PH8A. I don't use that one. I might use Tough Guard. I usually use the top quality Fram. They're not too bad, but I recommend probably the Purolator or the Motorcraft, best price in Wix. Now another thing, this is not commonly known. Why they don't do it on cars? I'm going to say they just want them to wear out faster. You can use this thing. It's a magnet. Now it doesn't have to be this brand. You can just use a plain Nobidium, I think it is. I forgot what it is. Magnet that's very powerful, and just stick it on the bottom of the filter. So it goes like this. You can see how it really clamps on there, right? So the filter actually sits in the car like this, upside down in this car. So where does that trap all the steel particles? At the very bottom of the filter, and it doesn't run through. This magnet will pick up stuff that the filter can't even pick up. But a Purolator and a Motorcraft filters are good filters. So that's something you're not going to have to really worry about too much, but it gives you an extra edge. Once you buy this magnet, you never buy nothing again. So how come they don't come with the cars? How come the cars don't come with big filters? Well, I don't know. I guess with the electronic components they have today, your car's going to be obsolete because once the electronic components go, in many cases that costs more than the whole engine does. It's like ridiculously expensive. Now another additive I use is Auto RX. I actually have bunches of this stuff. I have lots of it. But I only use a few ounces, the maintenance dose. You're supposed to use this with non-synthetic oil. Like in other words, you won't use this with Mobil 1. But this will keep the engine extra clean. This is a proprietary formula. The guy that developed it, there's only one place that sells it online, auto-rx.com. And the guy who developed it, he actually used it as in development for cleaning out ink in the printing presses and copy machines where they had problems with ink without they could clean them out safely. And this formula has been modified for cars, vehicles. This actually works with, it could work with a power steering pump, but I've never seen something work like this good. I've been around some of the mechanical stuff for a while. Some products work okay, and this is one of them that works very good actually. But the only type of synthetic you can use this with is like a cheaper synthetic. It's not really a pure synthetic. It's actually made from like Dino oil, the stuff that comes from the earth, but it's ultra purified. That would be Walmart SuperTech. You can use that with this. It's not a true synthetic. Or Pennzoil, full synthetic. You can use that with this. So I don't use like plain Dino oil. I'd rather use the full synthetic, but I just don't. You can't really use. It doesn't work right with Mobil 1. It only works right by itself. Now, if you don't want to spend the cost on this, there's one thing I'd like to recommend. put a little bit of in your car. Like I buy a big jug of this stuff. I use it in the motorcycle. I use it in the fuel in the motorcycle. It's a great top oil lubricant. And actually, if you check Jay Leno's thing, his site, he recommends this too. This works with air tools, everything. It's been around forever. Doesn't say it on the package. I think it's around since 1923. How come a product's around since 1923? Because it works, right? So my tip is, for this particular car, the Generation Sebring, 1996 to 2000, you could put these twice as big filters on them, and that will give you more longevity. This car is going to probably go to 300,000 miles. It's got like like almost 250,000 now, and it seems to run like new. So what can I tell you? So really, I guess I'll go over what the oil change is. The other thing is, when you're draining the oil, you're best off draining it for at least a few hours if you have the time. You'll notice on the pan, there's always a little bit more coming out. Very little bit more, but it's enough to make the difference where you're getting the dirtiest oil out. And, well, I guess it's not dripping anymore, but if you actually, there's one. But actually, if I'm not going to wait and stand here and show you this forever, but there's this little bit of dripping of oil coming out, and you just let it do its thing for at least a few hours. You'll get the worst oil out of it. And these type of maintenance things will make your vehicle last a lot longer. And this is the filter itself. So, if you have a wrench like this one I like the best, by KD Tools. It's very good. Just put it on there. Actually, go this way, and you unscrew it. But I'm going to do that after this drains for a little while. But that is my tip: using the magnets and using the extra large filters, and also using Auto RX on this vehicle. I've been using those extra large filters for some years now. This engine actually had a slight ticking noise in it, and when I went and put this stuff in it, it was actually a lifter. When I put this stuff into it, it's extremely quiet. It actually runs like a new vehicle. So I don't know, why buy one, right? That's the way I look at it. Why buy one? So in today's day and age, this is how you can make things last a lot longer. Make sure you fill up the filter with oil and lubricate this gasket before you put it up there. Don't put this up there dry. Fill it up. Actually, when you fill it up, the element will absorb the oil and it'll go down. So you might have to fill it up a few times. So I always have this filter extremely full when I put it in there, so when the car starts up, no dry start. So that's my tip, and these are the filters again that you can use. There's other ones, but you cross-reference them: Purolator L3 and 0001, Motorcraft FL1 or FL1A, I believe it is, the other on the package itself, and AC Delco PF2, Wix 51515, and the Fram is a PH8A, but I would not use the bottom grade Fram. Use the Tough Guard or the top grade one. I forgot what they call it again, but it's probably cheaper to use the Purolator or Motorcraft, and I think they're just as good.